Hello guys and welcome back to Haymanager with me, Alex. Today it's the final episode of the budget transfers for your Fantasy Premier League sides, and today it is of course the forwards. The people that you're looking to try and get the most points out of. Last season we saw Harry Kane get the most amount of goals, the most amount of assists. I think he got the most points ever in a fantasy football campaign, or that might have been Bruno Fernandes. I might have got that wrong, but for your strikers it's an interesting one. You don't get 5 points for a goal, you get 4 points for a goal. So you're looking for someone to try and convert as many chances as they can, whether or not it be assists or those goals that obviously strikers are there to do. So I'm going to start off with the budget transfers. I've gone for 7.5 million or lower. I've not gone for the 8 million, which is obviously your Bamfords, your people like that. So Danny Ings as well, he's an interesting one. But I've gone for players that I think will be getting a lot of goals and starting for their side. So the first player we go for is Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins, matches played 37 last year, tied 17th in the league. He scored 14 goals, which is 8th in the league altogether, which is a very, very good start for him. I think it was his first season in the Premier League after moving from Brentford. I think he moved from Brentford, who are now up into the Premier League, which is interesting to see. 5 assists for him. Alongside that, goals and assists per 90, 0.5, so every other game getting a goal or an assist. Shots per 90, 2.65, which is 22nd in the league in itself. 7.5 million for Watkins. He's a pivotal player in that Aston Villa front line. He performed very well in big games. Never mind the small games. He scored a lot against Liverpool. He scored, I believe, against Tottenham twice. I might be wrong there. But he did score a lot of goals against bigger clubs, which makes you look at him and think he could become one of the better strikers in the league. I wouldn't say as of yet he's still quite young. He's still doing his own thing. But he is progressing to become a better striker, as well as you've got Jack Grealish, who's around him to support him, try and find him with goals and assists. He's great in the air, he's great with his feet. He likes to run behind the back lines. Now you've got Buendia, who can also help him with that. I think it's going to be very interesting for Aston Villa this year. That front 3/4 are going to be an interesting front line. So Ollie Watkins, 7.5 million, got to consider him. Then we move on to the next striker. Now, this guy was a personal favourite for me last season. I've got to admit, I really like Che Adams from Southampton. A lot of people hyped up Danny Ings, but his strike partner, Che Adams, because I think they played a 4-4-2 for a lot of the season. They were very, very deep 4-2-2-2. Che Adams was fantastic, a very consistent performer. 36 matches played, represented Scotland at the Euros. 9 goals to his name, 5 assists. Goals and assists per 90, 0.47. So again, edging towards every other game, he's getting a goal or an assist. He's a very much a supportive striker. He does score a lot of goals, but the 5 assists as well, he contributes to the team massively. Shots per 90 as well, 1.89, which is quite low for a striker. You're not having 2 shots a game, which is interesting. It's really interesting to see. I know the defensive works a lot better this year. But for a striker, you'd expect them to try and have a lot more shots. But for Che Adams, it seems to be about winning and trying to provide for the team more than actually getting his own individual attributes, which I really admire about a striker. Che Adams, 7 million, a cheap option. 7 million is pretty good for last year. I think even cheaper than what Iheanacho was last year after he hit form towards the end of the last year. But yeah, 36 matches played, consistent player, supported player, very much a winner. I look forward to seeing how well he performs this year. We then move on to a very, very interesting little prospect to play in the league next year. João Pedro, the 18-year-old from Watford, is an interesting concept for the game. 38 matches played last year in the Championship. Ignore the fact it says Premier League. It is the Championship. 9 goals, 2 assists, which isn't fantastic. But for an 18-year-old, there's a lot of promise there. Goals and assists per 90, 0.36. Shots per 90, 2.26. We're looking at Watford, who have a stunning starting few strikers. They've got Deeney, obviously, João Pedro. They've got Andre Gray. They've recently got the addition of Josh King. Josh King as well. He's now joined them. So it's an interesting concept to what's going to happen to João Pedro. 38 games played is a lot in front of the Championship. And at 18, he seems to be a preferred player for this Watford side. I quite like the fact that they're playing him a lot. And for 5.5 million, the thing in my head is saying you put him on your bench. if you need to rotate him into your side, I reckon he'll be a consistent starter. The starters seem to be Troy Deeney's. I won't say much past it now, but he's very much just going to be a player that comes in and plays a role if they have to. I reckon they'll play either Josh King or Andre Gray through the middle, João Pedro off the left-hand side, and then who was the other one? Ismaili Sarr, I believe it is. Ismaili Sarr. He will play on the right-hand side. But yeah, João Pedro, 0.36 goals and assists per 90 for an 18-year-old. I think it's a stunning prospect, and for $5.5 million, if he starts playing games, this is the type of player you want to try and get in your side, because I don't think he'll be picked a lot by many people. Let me just double check my little book of notes. Let's see what I've wrote down there. He's been chosen by 1.6% of people, so he's a little gem out there. He's a little gem, a very nice little gem for you there. A bit of a cheeky one, so hopefully he does perform, and I'd love to see him perform because I love the way he plays football. He's going to play for a bigger team in the future. I can absolutely guarantee you that. Right, so then we go up onto the obvious one. It's Teemu Pukki. The man is back. The Finnish man is back to finish some business in the Premier League. Last year, 41 goals, 41 games, 26 goals, finished third altogether, only behind, I believe it was Ivan Toney, who might be the next player, and Adam Armstrong, a channel favourite Adam Armstrong. 4 assists to his name, 0.79 goals and assists per 90, most of them being obviously the goals, 3.62 shots per 90, so he does take the majority of shots for Norwich. That's what you've got to look out for. The only problem is when they're leaving, do Norwich strengthen their side and have someone that can support him so much in the field? Pukki is an interesting one. 6 million. He's probably going to be scoring the majority of goals for Norwich. He's been chosen by 10.3% of players. So a player that is being chosen a lot. 6 million is a nice little bit of a figure for him. We know he can perform in the Premier League. We've seen it before. He did obviously just have to start the season where he performed very well last time around. But I think Pukki is a nice little pick-up for your sides. Do I think he's going to perform as well this year? I don't. I don't think you're going to see 26 goals coming from the man. But I think you'll see at least 10 goals. We've seen it from last season where even Danny Ings and the likes, even Che Adams, for example, got 9 goals. And they didn't have a particularly great season, Southampton. So Pukki is a 10-goal-a-season striker. He's probably going to get you those 40 points, well, 60 points it is, minimum. So yeah, he's a very good player. I think you should probably consider him. If you back Norwich, you definitely consider him for your side. Then the final player, we all know it, excuse me for that, Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney had an absolutely phenomenal season last season. 45 games played, which was a joint 12th for the most amount of games played in the Championship. 35 goals, first in the Championship. This man, you've got to really consider. 6.5 million, 10 assists as well, 5th in the league. He likes to pick out his teammates. 0.96 goals and assists per 90, first in the Championship. 3.16 shots as well. He fancies his chances. He's confident. He just glides through the pitch with the ball. He's very fast, great in the air, very physical as well, which I quite like about him. He's really one to watch, and a little bit of a starlet coming through from Brentford, who have been phenomenal with how they've signed their strikers and the way they've done this through the years. Who was it now? I can't remember. He plays for West Ham now. It begins with a B. I can't remember his name, but they've sold quite a few players, Brentford, including obviously Ollie Watkins and the right winger that plays for West Ham now. Sorry, that I can't particularly remember. It's Buen something again. I can't remember. Ben Rama, that's it. They sold Ben Rama, which was an interesting one again to sell him, but they've managed to rebuild. They're back in the Premier League, Brentford, and I think even Toney is going to pick up a lot of goals this year. A lot of goals. We're going to see, like the likes of Bamford, who got 19 goals. You're going to see similar results from even Toney, who's very, very good in his system at Brentford. So those have been the strikers, the budget strikers that I've chosen. Let me know down below who you'll be picking if I've missed out on any little gems or anything like that are going to be very good. Iheanacho, another one that's going to be fantastic, I think. You've got to think about, is it Wood? I think Wood plays for Burnley. I think he's going to be a nice little pickup. But even Toney, he's been picked by 35.4% of players, so you know he's going to be a good one to pick up if you do obviously go for him. If you did enjoy this video, as ever, please do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I shall catch you in the next episode. Enjoy the weekend. It's an absolute scorcher out there. And yeah, I shall catch you in the next one. From me, Alex. Ciao.